The Lord of the Rings is a very male-centered story. Each book in the story only has one female character in a major role, although admittedly with a few supporting characters. The Hobbit, the story's precursor, with the exception of mentions and potentially ambiguous characters, contains no women. Despite Tolkien seemingly having healthy relationships with women, working with them as equals in the literary field, he still produced a story filled primarily with men. His unpublished works, many of which were written earlier in his life, are often even more male-centric, and use the suffering of women as motivation for men, with one notable exception. It's amazing, then, that Éowyn is as great as she is. Éowyn is far from the typical woman warrior found in pre-Tolkien fantasy. She's not a battle goddess born with a sword in her hand. She's also not the typical noble woman either. She's no silver spoon princess wanting adventure. She's a shield maiden. Rohan's military is never detailed, which is typical for Tolkien. However, this role of shield maiden is mentioned as a type of warrior, akin to a rider. Éowyn is a soldier and a noble, and it's this dichotomy that gives her such unique motivation. Éowyn wants to go into battle with her fellow citizens. She believes they are in the right to be willing to die for their country. However, she is also tasked with being the leader of Rohan in the absence of her uncle and brother, and perhaps even becoming monarch should they both die in battle. This duty has fallen unfairly to her. Her male family members are both of the same house, but are assumed to be needed in the battle. Éowyn is described as fearless and loved by all, so her leadership qualities are present, but her bold temperament does not lend itself to passivity while her people die for their freedom, and this conflict drives what makes her interesting. What makes her interesting is not her love for Aragorn. Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, and Fran Walsh interpreted this relationship as romantic in nature, with Éowyn forming a love triangle with Aragorn and Arwen. Alternate character interpretations are common, and I have a few myself, but when the official Wikipedia page states that Éowyn fell in love with Aragorn in the books, the line must be drawn. To state Éowyn loves Aragorn is accurate. To say she falls in love with him implies a romantic, intimate love. Indeed, Éowyn loves Aragorn. She finds him to be a great leader and warrior, which is a combination her circumstances could not bestow upon her. He is kind but strong, and brave but wise. Her country has been in ruins, and her family is being torn apart, when this man comes in and begins to set things right. Allow me to read a quote from Return of the King. "Since the day when you rose before me out of the green grass of the downs, I have loved you, and that love shall not fail." That was Éomer. You know who else has all of these feelings? Éomer. I would personally argue Éomer was more enamored with Aragorn than his sister was. Obviously, that relationship has not been traditionally read as romantic. The line in which Éowyn states that Aragorn will let his men follow him because they love him is used in the movie. However, this line does not evoke a romantic context for Halbarad in the book, nor Gimli or Legolas. And nor should it. Éowyn loves Aragorn, and does not wish to see him throw his life away, as he is too valuable as a leader and a warrior. However, Aragorn cannot return this love of companionship, as she is the chosen ruler of Rohan. I have seen Éowyn's conversations with Faramir used to confirm she was infatuated with Aragorn. This makes some sense, as those scenes involve Faramir and Éowyn learning to love each other, and her love for Aragorn is mentioned. Peculiar, then, that Faramir himself compares her love for Aragorn to that a great captain elicits from a young soldier. Indeed, she desired his love. She also desired, as Faramir says, glory and renown. Aragorn cannot give those to her. The love she desired from him, that of a fellow warrior, could not coincide with her duties to her people. Yet when they meet again it is as friends, and she asks for her healer's good luck for her marriage. Faramir is not convincing her to abandon some infatuation. He convinces her to find hope in peace, to see a life of nonviolent service as more than a cage, and to love her life without war. For a long time, stories written by men had women with two kinds of relationships, familial and romantic. The Lord of the Rings has so few positive female characters. Éowyn's motivations make her unique to the story, and rare to storytelling in general. Focusing her on love erases both her agency and her originality. Don't let the focus fall from what makes this character great. Of course, more can be said about Éowyn, especially in regards to prophecy, romance, race, and patriotism, but that can be for another day.